How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered, where I'm not really sure what went down in the last episode because we had this strange shadowy figure just show up out of nowhere, and I have an inkling of an idea, not even like a slight idea, just a teeny tiny inkling of an idea as to what it could be connected to, that being the Holy Grail, but there's still a whole lot of questions to be asked here. How did we even get to this point? Obviously, there's a new assassin that has come from this shadowy creature. This shadowy creature has been following Shirou around, especially over at the shrine, or not the shrine, the temple. And also, we got to really, consider the state of the war right now, because Castor was definitely killed, but a glimmer of her life was definitely taken by Gramps, the old guy over in the Bateau family. Zokin, I think is his name, because he's trying to partake in the war, but that went away really quick. We have that going on. We have no idea what's going on with Sakura. We have no idea where this shadowy creature even came from. There is so much unknown in this route already. The flickering repeats. Fever permeates my body, and I can't feel myself walking. Shirou's a little bit fucked up right now because he touched a little bit of the shadow creature and went into a little bit of a... I don't even know what he went through. But somebody actually did say in the last episode's comment section that if I didn't have enough brownie points with Sakura, that we actually would have gotten a bad ending there. So that's pretty interesting. Someone said something about catching a fever. It feels like mosquitoes carrying fever are spreading throughout my body and swarming around my fingertips.
Senpai.
And speaking of Sakura, in my days, I can't distinguish dreams from reality. It's like I'm already asleep and trying my damnedest to escape from the dream back to my bedroom.
Sakura, 睡眠中ではなかったのですか? どいてください。そんな誘い方じゃ先輩が辛くなる。
Interesting.
いえ、これは私が任されたことです。それに何らかの病だとしたらあなたにまで移ってしまう。そんなことを言ってるんじゃありません。セイバーさん、あなたと先輩が何をしているのかは知りません。聞いても答えてもらえないことだって分かっていますから、問いただすこともしませんでした。
It's as if you might already have an idea as to what she's been doing with Shirou.
けど、あなたが来てから先輩は毎日辛そうでした。それだけならよかったのに、今夜は怪我をして帰ってきたんです。さくら、それはセイバーさんの事情は知りませんけど、もう少しうまいやり方があるんじゃないですか。それができないって言うなら、せめて先輩を巻き込むのはやめてください。
Damn. Very strong words from Sakura there. I'm brought back to my room. Someone's next to me, putting me to bed, I think. I think they whispered into my ear, but I couldn't make it out. Did they say that they were reckless? Did they apologize to me? Anyway, that's the last thing I heard. My consciousness starts to fade as soon as I lie down. Everything I see squirms like worms until I pass out. That's one way of putting it. I feel like we're going to get so many flashbacks to that scene here in this route. I feel like we always get a lot of flashbacks, but I feel like especially here, I want to say Fate and this were like the top. Well, it's hard to say about this yet. I guess what I'm trying to say is Fate and this route, Heaven's Feel, will actually be the top for showing that scene off. Like, we have to see a lot of it in our first route. It has to happen. But there was a whole lot more to see, I think, in Unlimited Blade Works that I think that scene got to take a little bit of a backseat. Hard to say. Does anybody have a count for how many times that one image pops up in this game in general? She sees her friend off, an odd timbre in her farewell. No one else is around, and the traffic circle is completely still. Did her friend take the last taxi home, or are they all occupied? In any case, the park in front of the train station, usually well lit and filled with loiterers, is cold and lifeless.
ま、こんな日もあるか。
Who are we following right now? She walks home tipsy. She doesn't mind that the last train already left, nor that there aren't any taxis nearby. Her apartment is just around the corner. She's used to going home alone after seeing off her friend who lives in the town 3 train stops away. She walks through the middle of the roundabout, abandoned even though it isn't midnight yet, and takes the path home in high spirits. Are we just following like a random person? Or is this somebody we know? And yet, when did it all stop being just another night? An empty city. A back alley that the light doesn't reach. The cold creeping out from the shadows. Some formless anxiety grates away her composure.
ちょっと、誰かいるの?
She turns around, her follower is a silent, unfriendly shadow. She quickens her walk. She begins to think it's dangerous to be here. She doesn't think she's overreacting. She doesn't feel anyone following her, and to begin with, her instincts aren't good enough to sense danger even if someone was stalking her. She's just a normal, decent city dweller.
ちょっと、何よ、これ。
And yet she suddenly begins to tremble. The unpleasant feeling intensifies. This is just like that one time when she was a child, when she woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't move. That's sleep paralysis. It feels like the anxiety of having the entire world reject her, like that night when she thought someone was lurking in the corner of her bedroom. She couldn't even get up to go to the bathroom and pretended to sleep until morning. Before she knows it, she's jogging. This isn't her usual route home. The path before her is dangerous. Either path is pitch black. Relying on the same intuition that told her that she was in danger, she finds herself nearly stumbling as she runs towards safety. Or what she believes is safety. When did the jog become a headlong sprint? She knows that it's comical to be so afraid of something that she can't even see, but she can't stop. She scrambles down the street like a mad dog. It's strange how her throat is parched, yet she isn't sweating at all. The city at night. A string of unexplained accidents, as she tells herself that the rumors never mentioned anything about a slasher. There's no one else around. Tonight of all nights, the streets are empty. Does no one really care? It feels like she's an imitation of the city she knows so well, and a place where no one will ever find her. At last, she comes to the end of the line.
おかしいな。どうして?
Why did she come here?
何してんだろう?
It's a good question. It's so hilarious. She belly laughs because it's funny. Her throat feels like it belongs to someone else. All she did was run. She thought that there would be no going back if she took the normal way home. So she chose a different route that would take her to a safe place. And now... Finally, she realizes that there was never any escape to begin with. Whoa. Just as something can jump at you out of the grass, there we go. Other things can pounce on you from the tree branches. At first, it drops on her head. Nobody hears her scream. Her body hits the pavement. There's sharp pain in her ankles. It hurts so bad it must be a joke, like she's lost everything from the heel down. That can't possibly be true, so she tries wiggling her fingers only to find that she can't feel anything. Instead, something is burrowing into the part of her that's missing. With bloody but still functioning eyes, she looks to see what it is. What is this shit? We got fucking, like, bony, big teeth worms or some shit? What do we got going on here? But she can't see it anymore. All she knows is that it's something she doesn't understand that's gathering in her body. For some reason, her eyes can't process what they see. The worms wriggle their way inside. When she was a child, she once saw a bathtub sponge infested with maggots. And this looks just like that. Honestly, maggots are fucking terrifying, man. Like, they're gross. And it's like, that's like the sign of the end. If there's maggots around, like, that's the end of the line right there. You need to get the fuck away if you can. Like, stories of wounds and stuff that aren't treated really well and maggots start showing up. Like, bro, that's it, bro. You're done. A closer image would be inchworms squirming in an apple's hole. The realistic images don't line up with the events unfolding before her eyes. After all, this can't be happening. Not to her. It'll be midnight soon. I need to go home, fill up the bath. Ouch. Laugh about all the stuff that happened today. It hurts. And while I dry my hair, it hurts. I'll catch up on all the shows I recorded, go back to my room, set my alarm. I want to go home, wake up in the morning, go home. Ow, I go to work. Eek. Need to go home, go home. The brain's not really working there anymore, it seems. And goodbye, lady. The tragedy ends in less than 5 minutes. It was a gruesome scene that might be described as a meal if one were to define meal as the simple acquisition of nutrition. Okay. The fallen thing rises. What was once a woman can only now be described as a wizened old man. Oh, god damn it. This fucking guy. A hoarse voice rasps. The swarm of insects is gone. Having finished their meal, they returned to their nest inside the aged body. In other words, they hollowed out the inside of the woman and turned it into their own. Something witnessed it happen. Up above. Oh, hello. A mismatched white face floats in the gaps between 3 branches. It is a mask made of a human skull, locked in a gesture's smile. Its owner is, of course, the 7th servant who killed Lancer. Assassin, the masterless heroic spirit born from a false servant. Okay, this guy is definitely learning more speech as he kills.
Oh, 見ておったのか、アサシン。そうよ。わしの肉体はとうの昔に滅び去っておる。こうしてすでに出来上がっている体に寄生するだけの老いぼれでな。他の者どものように日の元に出られる体ではない。
The cackling comes from none other than Zokin Mato. It took him only minutes to attack and take over the woman. No matter how impressive a mage he is, the speed of the act was abnormal.
そうか。元の体などどうでもよい。単に一人分の肉が必要なだけなのだな。そうして得た肉を好みの形に作り上げるわけか。どのみち中身は虫どもなのだ。人間としての機能は虫どもが果たす。
ほほう。わずか1日で饒舌になったではないか、アサシン。その様では、己が望みを思い出したか。
無論。我は同じ望みを持つ召喚者にのみ呼び出される。魔術師殿の不死への渇望が好みを招いたのだ。故に、私が望むは永遠のみ。だが。
The black shadow sways. The expressionless skull masks eyes the old man dubiously.
いささか疑問が生じた。魔術師殿はすでに不死。その年月も500を超えよう。ならば、 望みはとうにかなっているのではないか。
Shit, I'd say a better wish would be like, immortality, but not having to go through this crazy bullshit with worms and bugs and stuff. The old mage's shoulders tremble as he raises his voice. You can tell whether his laugh is one of joy or rage. Indeed, Zokenmato is nearly immortal. With a body like that of a nest, he will continue to live as long as his soul's vessel remains intact. Excuse me. I was just going to mention that this really does have like some interesting parallels to this story here with what I'm going through in Tsukihime. I'm not going to like talk about it in detail, but it is very, very similar here. But it is a life of agony. Zoken does not maintain this old man's form out of preference. He is transformed into something inhuman, masquerading as a man. There are limits to his magecraft. It is not unlike a machine. Even if perpetual operation is possible in theory, his parts still suffer from wear. Parts rust, cogs fail to align, programming and cognition failed to keep up with the evolving times.
いやいや、わしは不死ではないぞ、アサシン。わしの体は腐る。何度新しい肉体を得ようと腐る。何をしようと腐っていくのだ。この新しい肉体とてすでに腐敗が始まっている。生きたまま自身が腐っていくこの不快と屈辱。自らが人ではなく虫なのだと受け入れる絶望といえば分かってもらえるかな。
なぜ腐る？虫どもでは真っ当な肉体を作れないのか。
そのようなことはないぞ。虫どもは生きがいいからな。肉体面では何の問題もない。元より老いる体を憂いて寄生体となった身だ。肉体面の防備に抜かりはなかった。わしは永遠に生き続ける方法、人間としてとどまれる方式としてこの延命法を選んだつもりじゃ。
ますますわからぬな。完全な肉体維持を選んでおいてその始末なのか。そもそもなぜ外見を老人に模す。
I'd argue it's kind of like a curse, In order to pursue this route of immortality, this is just what you end up with.
肉を粘土のようにこねるのなら、いかようにも姿は変えられよ
う。良い質問じゃ。ではトウが元の肉体を完全に失った者が自らの力だけでかつての自分を復元するとしよう。その場合、肉体を元の形に戻すものは何だと思う？
肉体は己の肉体を記録している。肌がそげ、肉が落ちようとかつての姿に戻るのは、肉体そのものに設計図があるからだ。
うん。遺伝子に記録された構成図じゃな。だがわしの場合は違う。自身の構成を記録していた肉体そのものを失ったのだ。その場合、自己を覚え、元通りの形にするものは何だと思うね。
The answer is obvious. His soul. The soul is a memory of the world itself, a record of a body bound not by the physical realm's laws like the flesh, but existing on a higher plane, belonging to a concept known as the astral realm. Yes, as long as the soul is intact, it can be possible to restore one's past self even after the loss of one's body, one's genes, and even one's very cells. Meaning that this old mage...
なるほど。自身の魂だけを生かし、肉体は生きている者たちから摂取する。それが魔術師殿の不死の正体か。故に他の姿にはなれない。魔術師殿が存命させているものは肉体ではなく魂。故に魂以外の姿は形作れないと。
当然であろう。わしとて好き好んで老人の体を得ているわけではないわ。よいか。わしはこの姿しか作れんのだ。それも定期的に変えねば腐り落ちる不出来なものよ。かつては一度の取り替えで54年活動したわしが、今では数ヶ月に一度取り替えねば存命できぬ。
That is just horrible. The fact that somebody gets sacrificed every couple months or so.
その賠償さ、腐敗す
Or
る
even
苦しみ
less.
が誰に理解できようか。間違えるな今代のアサシンよ。そのようなものを二度と不死と称するでない。
Frustration tinges the old man's voice. It has been 3 days since Assassin was summoned. The killer finally knows who his summoner is.
納得がいった。つまり腐っているのは肉体ではなく、
そう、魂が腐っておる。時間の蓄積は幽体にさえ影響を及ぼすのだ。故にわしの体は腐る。構成図である魂が腐っていては肉体が腐り落ちるのも当然であろう。
故に聖杯を求めるか。憤るわけよな。その永遠、生地永久を知らぬ者より辛かろう。
そうだとも。わしの体は腐る。腐るのだ。その苦しみ、骨の髄まで侵す毒から解放されねばならん。そのための聖杯、そのための死なない体よ。そうだ。わしは死にたくない。まだ生きていたい。この世から消えてなくなるなど考えるだに恐ろしい。それから逃れるために何百年と生き、腐敗から逃れるために何千という肉を食らい続けた。わかるか、山の主よ。わしはこの虫と化した自身が恨めし、わしだけが腐ることが恨めし、人として当然のように正しい肉体を授かる虫どもが恨めしいのだ。
Shoot, I would argue this is a fate worse than death. The desire to keep on living, to avoid death, is probably a fate worse than death. At least with the way that he goes about it here. The White Mask gazes down at the oozing, festering old man. He has made very clear how much he despises humans living peaceful lives. He has recounted how his very effort to escape that peace has caused him great suffering. The mage is the cause of his own pain, of his perpetual state of decomposition melting his skin, festering his meat, and sundering his bones as long as he lives. However, his suffering has become a problem too great to be resolved by merely assigning blame. Morality and causality are no longer relevant. At any rate, one can speculate that Zokenmato has long lost sight of his goal. An ordinary man could not withstand the pain and terror of Zoken's bodily decay for even an hour. No, it would not be possible no matter how stout one's spirit. One would die first. After a mere hour of decay, the body would die. Now imagine 200 years of this ordeal. Only the old mage could possibly know how much a human mind would deteriorate after so many years of endless decay. Zokenmato abandoned his humanity long ago. Even if he were still sane, one could conclude that he had lost his way from the moment his mentality became incomprehensible to any human on Earth.
数百年の妄念か。私には理解できぬが。
The old mage's ramblings can be summed up in a single sentence. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. This man simply does not wish to die. That alone describes how clear an idea Zoken has of an otherwise vague conviction that any other man might have. In clinging to that simple, foolish wish, he has sacrificed a great many people. In sowing seeds to help him acquire the Holy Grail, he has created even more victims. No, the old mage's very existence is founded on the sacrifice of others. And to the masked assassin, that is a motivation worthy of his service.
理解できぬが、魔術師殿はこの私のマスターにふさわしい。
Okay, so this does confirm that, well, I don't know if it confirms anything. I thought the shadowy figure would actually be the master of this assassin, because he's kind of the one that made him. The shadowy figure is the one that took down the original assassin, right? Or was it something or somebody else? Well, either way, I guess assassin as they are now doesn't actually have a master.
よかろう。人として扱われなかった者同士、 共に永遠を目指すとしよう。
The skull will serve. His bleached white head dips in respect to the rotting old mage. Well, Zokin's got a real servant now. This war is getting weirder and weirder as time goes on. But we can say for certain, Caster is definitely gone. I think. Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that Caster's gone. Lancer is also for sure gone. Assassin is born anew. And I guess Rider is also still around somehow. Of course, we have Saber, Berserker, and Archer. Is that everybody? Am I missing anyone? I think I've accounted for everybody. I want to say that I have. Something's nagging at me that I actually haven't. Let me check. No, I think we've accounted for everybody. I have that stupid bug where I can't see my mouse cursor. Whenever I have my pedals plugged in, the pedals that I use for my sim racing, and I start the game, and even if I unplug them, which prevents more issues, yeah, the game kind of bugs out, switching back and forth between controller input and mouse and keyboard, which is just so much fun. Absolutely so much fun. It's morning. It's after 7 o'clock. The weather is nice outside, and bright white sunlight pours in. Excuse me. Feeling better, Shirou? I get up and stretch my back. Physically, I feel well. I can move my limbs easily, and there's no trace of any headache. I feel great waking up today, as if the horror of last night never happened. I sigh and think back on what happened. Even if I was reliving what happened 10 years ago, I really need to train more if I can't remember anything that happened. My memories since collapsing in the park are vague. All I remember is leaning on Saber's shoulder and being put to bed. I get out of bed and quickly change into my school uniform. Damn, Shirou is really going through it this week. Saber seems like she's still asleep, so I'll go have breakfast. It's already 7, so I should go see if Sakura's in the living room. There she is.
Senpai.
In the living room, I find Sakura holding her school bag. Breakfast is ready. The table is neatly arranged and ready for us to start dining right away. I was gonna say digging in.
はい。時間があったので、先輩とセイバーさんの分を作っておきました。
俺とセイバーの分って、さくらのは？
私はいいです。先に学校に行ってますから、お二人で朝食をとってください。
どうしたんだよ、さくら。俺たちの朝飯作っておいて、自分だけ食べないなんて変だぞ。もしかして、昨日何かあったのか？
Sounds like I was on the mark, but I can't think of anything from yesterday's events that would apply. After dinner last night, Sakura went back to her room, and that was the last time I saw her. After that, I think something happened, but the thought gives me so much nausea that I can't remember.
そういえば、ここでさくらとセイバーがなんか話してた気がする。
私、ひどいことを言っちゃったんです。先輩が倒れかけているのを見て、ついカッとなっちゃって。
ひどいことってセイバーに？はい。
けど、私にだってそんなこと言える資格なんてなかった。だから、今はセイバーさんに合わせる顔がなくて。
So that's why she made breakfast for 2 and is trying to leave before she runs into Saber.
すみません、先輩。あの後、すぐ自分のバカさ加減に気づいて、セイバーさんに謝ったんです。そしたらセイバーさん、私に謝ってくるんです。
Sakura hangs her head looking ashamed. I see. If you apologize to someone and they end up apologizing back to you, well, that would make you feel even worse.
まったく、バカだな、二人とも。一番悪いのは怪我をした俺だろ。さくらもセイバーもそんなことで喧嘩することなかったんだ。
で でも先輩、私、セイバ
いいんだって。言っとくけどな。あいつは相手に火があったら絶対に折れないぞ。さくらの言い分が無茶苦茶だったら怒鳴り返してくれる。そのあいつが謝るってことは、さくらの言い分を認めてるってことだ。セイバーは口にしないだろうけど、さくらのこときっと好きだぞ。
けど、ならなおのこと、今朝は遠慮します。セイバーさんが怒ってくれなかった分、ちゃんと自分で叱らないと、調子に乗っちゃいますから。
Sakura laughs bashfully and gives me a modest bow. Looks like her mind is set on leaving for school early. I think it's still unhealthy, in my opinion, the way she's going about it.
こんな早く学校に行ってどうするんだ？朝練禁止されてるだろ？
大丈夫。道場のお掃除をするだけですから。セイバーさんにあんなこと言っちゃったんですから、罰として弓道場の床を雑巾がけするんです。
Sakura bids me farewell and leaves the living room.
道場の掃除って。冬場の雑巾がけはきついぞ、さくら。
She knows that as well as I do, though, which is probably why she said it. I wonder what she said to pick a fight with Saber, if she thinks that she has to do such an inevitable task to make up for it. I don't think that's what that word was, by the way.
私とさくらが喧嘩ですか？
I don't think I said that right. Oh, okay, let's not open that. My game is definitely bugged whenever I have I guess my pedals plugged in, or maybe a controller in general, I don't know.
ね、あ、いや、したんじゃないのか。さくら、セイバーに悪かったって言ってたけど。
言われてみれば、確かにそのように見えたかもしれませんが、しかしあれはさくらが正しいのであって、口論というよりは、私の不徳を注意してもらったという方が。
Wow. Saber's grumbling at herself. Not that it does a thing to stop her chopsticks from delivering bite after bite of food to her mouth.
いや、変なこと言って悪かった。さくらがすごく気にしてたから、こっちも気になっただけなんだ。なんでもないんなら忘れてくれ。
はあ。さくらといい、シロといい、昨夜から同じことを言うのですね。実は。
そんな手の込んだ冗談するか。そんなことして、俺とさくらに何の得があるってんだよ。
Actually, I'm terrified of pranking Saber and being found out.
それはそうですね。では、単に二人とも互いを気遣っての行為だったわけですか。
Saber muses as she ingests an omelet. It's good to be a glutton in the morning. Mm-hmm.
けど、なんて言ったんだよ、さくらは。生半可なことじゃそこまで落ち込まないし、そのあたり聞いてもいいかな、セイバ
ー。それは、単に私のサーバントとしての力不足についてです。要約すれば、白を守りきれなかったのは、私の未熟さだったと。
I really wouldn't say it's that, actually. It was just Shirou jumped in and did something pretty ballsy.
セイバーは十分すぎるぐらいやってくれてる。昨べだって、俺が勝手に倒れただけだろ。セイバーが気に病むことじゃない。
それはそうなのですが、とにかく、さくらの忠告は正しかった。問題は、さくらに何と言われようと私は、あなたというマスターを、これからも戦いに赴かせるのですから。
Saber looks away uncomfortably. I mean, it's strange. Why is Saber getting so worked up over something that we already mutually agreed on?
がなく、不審に感じた住民が周囲の住宅の調査を要請したところ。
I guess we're tuning into the TV now. The news is on TV. I turned on the TV while eating and it's showing a story about last night's events.
発見された体調不良者は30名に及び、直ちに病院に運ばれました。今月に入ってから7件目の昏睡事件ですが、診察の結果はやはり何らかの食中毒に近いと。
Akin, but not necessarily actual food poisoning. I finish breakfast and get ready for school. I'm going to school to see Tosaka. I need to discuss what had happened last night with her, about Zoken Mato and that black shadow.
警察では、宮山南4丁目一帯に被害が拡大したことから、何らかの薬物が散布された可能性が高いと。
Miyama South 4 Chome. Tosako was glaring in that direction last night. Archer said that the shadow was causing the comas. It's a weird-looking creature, that's for sure. 30 unconscious people. I've experienced for myself what that was like. Like Castor, the shadow lurks in the darkness and sucks magical energy from people around town. No, it's more than just sucking. Castor had a gentle touch compared to that thing. She cleverly made sure to harvest energy from people in a repeatable, painless way, like drawing blood through a syringe, to use as a metaphor. This is nothing like that. Castor may have only drawn blood, but the thing I saw last night feasts on its victims. The shadow has no mind or mercy. It only cares about devouring its victims' magical energy, mind and all.
そういえば、学校に行く前に話がある。
はい。何でしょうか、シロ。
Saber heard what they said on the news too. She probably knows what I'm about to say, but she quietly waits for me to continue, as always.
あ、今後の方針のことだ。セイバーも昨夜のあれを見ただろう。
はい。どのような幻想種にも該当しない、見たことのないものでした。
うん。あれが何であるかはわからない。ただ、あいつはあいつで俺たちの敵だ。マスターにもサーバントにも見えなかったけど、意図的に俺や遠坂を狙ってきたし、町の住人からも魔力を集めている。なら、
当面はあの影の探索を優先するということですか？マスターともサーバントとも取れぬ、私たちには関わりのないものの相手をすると。
I think we have to. Saber gives me a hard stare. Her goal is to obtain the Holy Grail, and I'm asking her to help me with an irrelevant objective. Of course she'd be against it, but still.
あの影を放っておけない。これは聖杯戦争より優先すべきことだと思う。
Saber watches me silently for a moment. The deafening silence makes me hold my breath.
まったく、そう来ると思っていました。私としてはあの影には関わりたくないのですが。
セイバー、その本当にいいのか？
いいも悪いも、私が断ったところでシローは一人で行動するではないですか。
Damn, you already know Shirou oh so well.
そうなった時、あなたを守りきれねば本末転倒です。あなたに死なれては私はこの世にとどまれません。ですから、たとえ反対であったとしてもシローの方針に従うしかないのです。
それはそうだけど。
それに、あなたを一人にしては昨夜のような無茶をいつしでかすか。あれで2度目ですからね。3度目だって必ずあります。そんなことになったら私はまた桜に謝らねばならなくなる。
じゃあ、
誠に不本意ですが、サーバントは主の命に従うもの。マスターであるシローがそう判断したのなら剣は預けます。
セイバー。
ですがシロー、あの影は尋常な相手ではない。あれに比べればバーサーカーとて御しやすい相手でしょう。
Yeah, it's actually very strange how this shadowy figure, operates here. We don't really know its goal, or if it even has like a, actual thought process at all. It's definitely something that isn't in the norm here, especially since we haven't seen it in previous routes. It's hard to say what necessarily brought it into this story. What was the condition that brought it here? But I still truly believe that it has something to do with the Holy Grail itself. We actually might learn more about the Holy Grail than we have in previous routes.
それは肌で感じた。あいつは強いとか弱いとかいう次元の話じゃなくて、ただ不吉だった。殴れば倒せるって相手でもないと思う。
それが分かっているのなら私からは何もありません。ただシロー、あれの相手をするということは最も困難な道を行くということ。それを今から胸に刻んでおいてください。
It's gonna be real interesting whenever Gilgamesh decides to pop up in this story.
いや、そりゃ
We know
用
he's
心はす
around.
るけど、なんだよ変なこと言って。セイバーもアーチャーみたいにあの影を知ってるのか？
いいえ、 私もシロと同じです。あの影が何者なのかはわからない。
Unless it's possible that Archer has a similar inkling of an idea that, like me, may not be the same idea, but it is possible that because he knows of the Holy Grail, for example, he knows what to expect from it. And this, if my prediction is correct, is from it. So, knowing where Archer has come from, our lovely journey through Unlimited Blade Works kind of, connects the dots for us. He has that inkling for a reason. Saber averts her gaze. Then, as if uttering an ominous premonition she just had,
ただ漠然と感じたのです。あれは良くない星そのものだと。それこそ関わったものすべてに破滅をもたらす。
yeah,
流れようのない茨のような。
that is true. She leaves me with that. I think we're all on the same page here.
それじゃあホームルーム始めるわよ。
And on that note, we'll wrap it up there. It is so hard to operate this game, not really seeing my mouse pointer at times. But, yeah. Tons of questions to have, but nonetheless, what a crazy route this is so far. Just the fact that such an unknown, confusing variable has been thrown in, and then some. We never really focused on the Matos either. And now we have a whole new assassin. Some crazy stuff going on here, guys. Really crazy, but I am digging it. I hope you guys are as well. Thank you all for watching this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.